And God said, Behold, I have given you every herb-bearing seed. To you it shall be for food. Genesis 1:29. Man did eat angels' food. He sent them meat to the full. Psalm 78:25. Everyday Manna with Lisa.
Hi everybody, and welcome to Everyday Manna. On today's program, we're going to be making a beef and bean tortilla wrap with a wonderful Caesar salad with homemade Caesar salad dressing on the side. And what we're going to do first is we've got our oven preheating to 375 degrees. Now, I purchased this morning just plain flour tortillas that you can get anywhere, and you could use, for this recipe, you could use flour tortillas, you could use the wonderful spinach tortillas that are out there, or the sun-dried tomato, the flavored ones. By all means, just use whatever is your favorite. And I'm going to show you a little trick to softening your tortillas. They come, you can get them in the dairy department or in the regular aisle with the Mexican food, but if you'll take some paper toweling and just wet it, and then just wring out all your extra water. Take your tortillas, take a couple of them, lay them down, cover it with another wet paper towel, just damp. What the dampness does is when you put it in the oven, it just kind of helps to soften the tortillas and makes them just a little bit easier to do your wrap at the end. So we're just going to take our tortillas and we're going to put them in between some paper toweling that's wet. And then we're going to take our baking sheet that we have got some aluminum foil on, and just put your tortillas on there, cover them with the aluminum foil, and what will happen is the moisture from the paper towel will just steam the tortilla shells for you, the flour tortillas. Just wrap it up in a little package, put it in the oven, and you're done. Let's just get those in there, let them cook. Well, they're not really cooking, they're just kind of steaming. Take about 10 minutes or so, and while that's doing its thing, we're going to get started on the filling. I've got one large skillet here that I'm going to preheat on a medium-high heat, and we're going to just brown about 1.5 pounds of ground beef. Now, I've got a very lean ground beef here, so I'm going to add just a touch of canola oil. You could use olive oil or vegetable oil, whatever you have at home will be fine. And we're going to just brown our ground beef. Let me get a spoon here. And we're going to brown our ground beef in our skillet. You could use ground turkey. I have made this, actually the first time that I created this recipe, I was at home and I had a package of ground turkey, and I didn't really want to make turkey burgers. I make them all the time, and I love turkey burgers. That particular night, I did not want a turkey burger. And I thought, what in the world can I do with this? So I just kind of looked in my pantry to see what I had, and I came up with this recipe. So you could make it with ground turkey. You could make it with ground chicken. I'm just making it with just ground beef today, but you could substitute anything that you wanted to, anything that you have in your house. And that brings up a point. If you keep your pantry at home stocked with some different things that you like, pick 2 or 3 different kinds of cuisine that you like, and you keep the basic things on hand at all times, you can come up with a meal anytime if you keep your pantry stocked with just some good things that you like. And I always have ground beef in my freezer. I keep it in the freezer. So I could make this at my home with a quick little stop at the store to get some tortillas. That's something I don't keep on hand. But if I just were to stop and go through the express line and get some tortilla shells, I could make this anytime at my house because I keep the other ingredients on hand at all time. And if you will do that at your house, then you'll find your cooking is not as big a chore because you have the ingredients that you need right there. We're going to chop 1 medium-sized onion. This is a Mexican-type dish, inspired most certainly by Mexican food. And we love Mexican food at our house. We just, anything with tortillas and cheese and anything like that. Refried beans, which we're not using refried beans. We're going to use black beans today. My onion is going everywhere on me. Just dice your onion, 1 medium-sized onion. We're going to add that to our beef. And we're going to make on the side, you know, I bet you a lot of you did not know this, that Caesar salad, the salad that everybody loves, and you go to a fancy restaurant, they make the dressing right beside you with a raw egg. We're not going to use a raw egg today. Did not originate in the United States. That is originally a Mexican dish. It was created in Tijuana, Mexico. And so that's just the perfect side dish for this, because this, you know, you need something to go with it. And I like salads and things like that. So we're going to make a Caesar salad today. We're going to just brown up our ground beef and our onion. Just takes just a minute for that ground beef to brown off. And if it has some extra fat that comes out, we'll drain that. But I did buy very lean, so sometimes that's not necessary. It really just depends on the kind of ground beef that you get. If you get most of them are graded. The 75-25 means that it's 25% fat and 75% lean, and that by all means you would have to drain. The 80-20, the ground chuck, which I use for most things, is 20% fat and 80% lean, and then it just goes up from there. The ground round is 85-15. Then you can get the super lean ground sirloin that is like 90-10. Sometimes it's 93-7. Just depends on where you get your product, but whatever you have is fine. Just if you need to drain it, go right ahead. You want this to be a fine crumble, so that's why I'm kind of working the meat there. While that's browning, let's talk about a couple of other things. Now, in your stores, you can find these little things. They are called chipotle peppers in adobo sauce. What it is, what a chipotle pepper is a smoked jalapeno pepper. And they're delicious. They are, you know, of course, the jalapeno peppers, which are a little bit hot. They're not too bad, but they tend to have just a touch of heat with it. So, but these are kind of on the small side. So we're going to use 3 of these. Take the rest of this jar, and you could put it in another container, and you could freeze it for future use so that you're not wasting. You know, you don't, by all means, you do not need the whole jar of these. You just need 2 or 3 of the little individual peppers. They're delicious. They add just a smokiness in the background of your dish, along with some of the spices that we're going to use. It just adds a wonderful smokiness to your dish. You just want to kind of chop them up. I love jalapeno peppers. They add just a touch of heat. They're by all means not the hottest pepper on the scale. One year, I got to tell you this little story. One year, you know, I like to garden, and I enjoy growing new things. One year, I saw a habanero pepper plant at the nursery, and I thought, I'm going to try that. That's the hottest pepper that there is. And I thought, I'm going to try that. And I grew that thing at home, and not realizing when I picked the peppers off of the vine, my hands were on fire. So you need to wear gloves if you handle the hotter peppers like that. I needed to have some gloves on my hands. I sat with my hands in ice for about an hour because it just burned my hands, just picking them without cutting into them. So they're very, very hot, but they're delicious. So our ground beef is coming along. I got to take a quick break. When I come back, we're going to add these chipotle peppers and some other delicious ingredients to our ground beef mixture. I'll be right back. Hey, and welcome back. Now over the break, our beef just is browning up, and it's basically done. So let's add a little bit of salt. I'd say about a teaspoon or so, and some cracked pepper, some black pepper. I don't know of anything I don't cook that I cook that I don't add black pepper to. I just love it. At the restaurants, when you go and you get the salad and you have that little tiny pepper shaker that the pepper never comes out of, I unscrew the top and pour the pepper out. So I like a lot of pepper. We're going to add our chipotle peppers with just a little bit. We're going to get about a teaspoon or so of that adobe sauce and just add it to our pot. Let's get our little spoon. We're just going to kind of push the peppers aside and get just a little bit of the sauce that the peppers are packaged in, and we're going to add that. That's a teaspoon, so about 2 teaspoons full is plenty of that. And then we're going to add our spices. We've got a tablespoon of ground cumin. Cumin is wonderful in Mexican food. It just adds a spicy, smoky blend to whatever you're cooking, but in this case, our filling. We've got about 1.5 tablespoons of just plain chili pepper that you get in your spice section at your store. Then I've got about 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. We're just going to stir those spices in. See how beautiful that looks? It just coats that ground beef. You know, and if you wanted to, at this point right here, you know those little prepackaged up taco seasoning mixes that you get in the store? If you will just do this recipe to this point right here and go no further, this is a delicious filling that you can use in the taco shells without adding. Those taco packets are full of sodium, full of salt. And this right here is absolutely delicious in and of itself in a taco shell. So you could stop right here, so you're getting 2 recipes in one. We're going to add to this, we're going to add a cup of frozen corn that we have thawed out. You could use frozen, you could use canned corn if you wanted to. Just make sure that you drain the corn if you're using the canned. We're going to add 1 can of drained black beans. I love black beans, and I use them in a lot of dishes. They're so full of fiber, and they're just delicious. I like them just rinsed out of the can, and you can put them in a salad. Make a bean salad with it. Mix it with some green beans and some wax beans and the black beans, and then put a vinegary dressing. It's delicious. Then we're going to add, I'd say about 1/2 cup of black olives, just sliced black olives. If you don't like olives, leave it out. If you like olives as much as I do, you could add more if you wanted to. Let's turn that down to just a simmer. Then we're going to take just a salsa, a jarred salsa, whatever kind you like. There are hundreds of different kinds of sauces on the market. And I was just there at the grocery store, and I just was looking at the different ones. They've got the green verde sauce. They've got the habanero salsa. They've got picante salsa. They've got the cactus sauces. Whatever you like. I just like a medium, a little more than half, a medium heat level salsa, and just add that in to your meat mixture. And then basically that is done. Turn it down to low and let that simmer for just a few minutes. Let's cover that up and let that simmer. Now we're going to move on to our just 1 minute, to our salad. Our Caesar salad dressing is just delicious, absolutely delicious. Let's wipe off our board here. If you've never had Caesar salad, most of the time it's made with raw eggs, lemon juice, a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, salt and pepper, garlic, and anchovies. Now, I'm not an anchovy lover by any means, so I'm leaving it out of my Caesar salad dressing. If you like anchovies, you can just get the canned anchovies that come where you get the sardines and things like that, and then use a couple of fillets of anchovies if you want to. I just personally don't care for them, so I don't cook with them. You'll find throughout this program, if I don't like something, I don't cook with it. And one of the things that is so popular in Mexican cooking that I just simply do not like is cilantro. And so you probably won't see me adding much fresh cilantro to the dishes, but if you like it, by all means, you could add it to that would be, if you like cilantro at this point in the filling, you could add probably 1/2 cup of chopped cilantro. But we're going to get started. We've got 1/2 of a lemon here. We want about 1/2 of a cup or so of lemon juice. So we want to squeeze our lemons, and I've got some seeds in there that I need to fish out. I forgot to use my little strainer, didn't I? So let's get those seeds out of there. Some people don't like biting into things that are hard on their teeth. I don't blame them, but you can just fish them out. It's not a big deal. But we'll use our little strainer for the next two. I need about 1/2 cup of lemon juice. If you roll your lemons on your board before you slice them, you'll get more juice out of them. If you squeeze them over one of these little strainers, you don't have seeds going into them. I need my little lemon reamer, but don't see it, so we'll just use our hands. Okay. So this one's got some seeds, about half a cup, and that looks about right. You don't have to be exact on your measurements, so I think that'll be plenty. The seeds, that way you don't end up in your dish. To that, we're going to add a couple of cloves, actually about 3 cloves of garlic to our salad dressing. So we're going to add this. I've got to take a quick break. When I come back, we're going to finish up the dressing and get those tortillas out of the oven. I'll be right back with you in just a minute. 1 John chapter 5, verse 4 says, "For whatever is born of God overcomes the world. And this is the victory that overcomes the world, our faith." You know, faith is very much like our muscles. They have to be exercised. They have to be worked to grow and to become useful. Faith is not useful to you if you don't work it, if you don't use it. And sometimes trials will come, tribulations will come in our life to exercise our faith. Just like our natural muscles need to be exercised to grow, our faith needs to be exercised to grow. Maybe you're going through a trial today. Know that God is stretching and growing your faith. Welcome back. Now we're going to finish our Caesar salad dressing. We've got our filling for our burrito shells or our tortilla shells, whatever you want to call them. It's done. It's just staying warm on the stove. In the oven, we have our tortilla shells wrapped in some damp paper toweling, just kind of softening in the oven. That's a wonderful way. You could do it in the microwave if you wanted to. You could do the same thing. Of course, don't put it in the foil. Put it in, just wrap it in some damp paper towel, maybe down in a baggie, and you could do that in your microwave for just, say 20 seconds. But I don't have a microwave out here, so we're going to use our oven. We're just going to chop 3 cloves of garlic because Caesar salad dressing has a lot of garlic in it. So we're just going to chop. Again, you could use the pre-chopped up stuff that you get in the produce department if you want to. That's perfectly fine. Doesn't matter. I love the smell of garlic. I love to eat garlic. Mike probably wishes I didn't eat quite so much garlic, but I love it. I'm going to add, let's run our knife through that one more time. We don't want to bite into too big of a piece. And remember, this is staying raw because it's going into our salad dressing. So you want to make sure that it is minced very, very fine. That's good. So let's add that to our salad dressing. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. What's this here sauce, as somebody calls it? What's this here sauce? It's got everything in it. I love it. It's so good on different things. 2 tablespoons of that. A dash of Tabasco sauce, depending on how much you like, how much heat you like. Again, it's all up to you, what you like or don't like. I need my whisk. And I'll show you a little trick. If you've got a cutting board and you want to whisk, if you'll put something wet, like damp rag or something under your bowl, when you're whisking, it won't go anywhere. We're going to whisk in about half of a cup of extra virgin olive oil. Remember, when you're making a salad dressing, whisk as you pour your oil in there, and that way it emulsifies much, much, much better than if you just pour it all in there and then start whisking. But if you whisk as you go, then you'll get a much better emulsification on your oil. Add just a pinch of salt and some fresh ground pepper to your dressing. And that is a homemade Caesar salad dressing. You could whisk in an egg if you wanted to. Some people are afraid of raw eggs, but you could, traditionally it does have a raw egg in it, but we're not going to do that today. Now, I have some hearts of romaine that what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put them on my salad plate because I think it looks prettier to leave the leaves whole in a Caesar salad. So that's what we're going to do today. We're just going to place, now Caesar salad, remember, has lettuce leaves, romaine, always romaine, and the dressing and croutons. It's really a very, very simple salad that's uncomplicated. And then I've just got some purchased sourdough croutons. You could do whatever you like, whichever kind you like. What's your favorite? You could make your own. If you had some leftover bread and you wanted to just make your own croutons, just bake it in an oven and then, cube it up, season it before you put it in the oven and then cube it up. It's delicious. And sometimes it does have a little bit of Parmesan cheese, a shredded Parmesan cheese. So we're going to do that today. I guess if I had to pick a favorite cheese, this would be my favorite. I love Parmesan cheese. Just a little bit, just dressed over your salad. And then take just a spoonful, we'll just use our measuring spoon, and drizzle your Caesar dressing over your salad. And if you wanted to add some extra cracked black pepper, you could. Now, I'm not a person who likes my salads completely saturated with dressing. I like to taste the salad, so that's all I'm going to put. But I am going to add just a touch of pepper and a little lemon slice just to make it pretty on our plate. And there's you a homemade Caesar salad. Now, let's chop the rest of our romaine lettuce. Let's just shred it up. The rest of the bunch that I had, that was just one bunch of romaine, because we're going to get our tortillas out and we're going to build our beautiful little beef and bean wrap. So let me grab the tortillas. Remember, it's hot, so use your oven mitt. Be careful. And they're perfectly steamed. They're perfectly moldable and shapeable, and they're delicious. These are the perfect little go-to bread type item because you can do so much. They're hot. I need something to get this out. And I've got pretty strong hands, but those are very, 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 very hot. So let's get one out. You can see the steam. Let's get our plate. Take one of your wraps and then take your filling that has just been simmering away, and you want to just in the center put some of your filling, about like that. Now, we've got our extra things right here if you want to. I've got just some pickled jalapeno slices, sour cream, some more black olives, and some cheddar cheese. This is not cheddar, excuse me. It's Monterey Jack and Colby. And I'm just going to add to the middle of mine, I'm going to put just a little bit of cheese, maybe just a couple of these jalapeno slices, just because I like it that way. And then just roll it up and turn it over, and add what you like. Now tell you what we will do. We'll cut this thing in half so that you can see inside at how beautiful it looks. It's hot. Add just a little bit of lettuce over it. Just a dabble of sour cream on top of each one. And you could add just a few little black olives. And there you go, a beef and bean tortilla wrap with all of the things that we love. I hope you try it, and I know that you will enjoy it. I'll see you next time on Everyday Manna.
Thank you for watching Everyday Manna with Lisa. This program is made possible by viewers like you. Your support is continually needed to keep Christian programming on the air. Please send your best financial gift to Living Faith Television in care of Everyday Manna, P.O. Box 1867, Abingdon, Virginia 24212.